Our house sits in the suburbs of Massachusetts. The white paint on the exterior walls of our 20-year-old single-family home is peeling in places, but this house is my precious sanctuary. In the small flower bed by the entrance, the marigolds that Amy and I planted in spring are still blooming vigorously. One afternoon in late August, I was poring over the household accounts as usual, basking in the sunlight streaming through the kitchen window. I'm Melissa Wilson, 35 years old, working part-time at a local insurance agency. My meticulous nature hasn't changed since my student days, and I still take particular care with household management. In my Excel spreadsheet budget, I record even the prices of supermarket sale items in detail. Every Thursday, I make it a habit to check the flyers and shop around at local supermarkets for deals. Perhaps this is my own way of expressing love for my family. Mom, is the snack ready? The voice from the living room brings an involuntary smile to my face. My daughter Amy turned 10 this year and is in 5th grade at the local elementary school. Her bright and honest personality always gives me strength. She's particularly good at math and wants to be an architect when she grows up. On her days off, she loves playing with building blocks, making house models. Just the other day, she created a suburban single-family home like ours with colorful blocks and happily explained, "You can walk the dog here, see? Just wait a little longer, I'll make it right away," I answered while doing a final check of this month's household income and expenses. The electricity bill is a bit high due to this unusual heat. I started working part-time 3 days a week 3 years ago to cover Amy's cram school fees. I work from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., somehow managing to handle Amy's drop-offs and pickups. Still, we live on a tight budget. James, my husband, has been working as a construction site supervisor for 15 years, and recently his weekend shifts have increased, leading to higher income. But I feel sad that his time with family is decreasing accordingly. The increase in weekend work began around the beginning of this year, I think. What started as once or twice a month has now become the norm 3 or 4 times monthly. Every time I see him checking work-related emails on his smartphone during dinner, my heart aches a little. Unlike my meticulous nature, James has always been more easygoing, and he's a very indulgent father to Amy. Recently, he's started buying new watches and clothes, saying, "It's for work socializing," but true, his external interactions must have increased since becoming a site supervisor, but when I saw this month's credit card bill, I couldn't believe my eyes. Is Dad coming home late again? Amy, having finished her homework, appeared in the kitchen with sweat on her forehead. Yes, he's working overtime again. But we can spend Sunday together as a family. Yay! I want to go to the park with Dad. Looking at Amy's innocent smile makes my chest tighten. Actually, I have something troubling me about Sunday's plans. I was planning to invite my sister Rachel for dinner, but lately, she's been ignoring my messages more often. Since her divorce 2 years ago, citing differences in values, she's been living alone in an apartment about 15 minutes by car from our parents' house, and we don't see each other as frequently as before. Rachel works as a supermarket cashier, starting her new life. Recently, our phone calls have decreased, and I feel a growing distance between us. She's stopped showing up at family gatherings at our parents' house, and her social media updates have become irregular. Her last post was 2 months ago. While she had some unstable periods after her divorce, lately something seems different. Our phone conversations have decreased, and even when we do meet, she seems distracted, which worries me. While serving Amy cookies and apple juice, I contemplate tomorrow's dinner menu. Should I make lasagna, Rachel's favorite, or go with an easier pot roast? Through the kitchen window, I can see the trees in the yard swaying, looking a bit tired from the late summer heat. The maple leaves are just beginning to show hints of autumn. Closing the household account book, I can't help but sigh. True, my husband's income has increased, but we still have years of mortgage payments ahead, and Amy's education expenses will only grow. Thinking about college, we need to start preparing now. But I have to stay strong to protect this family's happiness. Hoping Rachel will come on Sunday, I turn on the oven. As dusk approaches, watching the shadows in the yard gradually lengthen through the window, I'm overcome with an inexplicable sadness. Saturday afternoon, I was folding laundry while thinking about tomorrow's family time. Rachel still hasn't responded to my messages. Despite the persistent late summer heat, the living room air conditioner remains broken. Only the fan futilely stirs the warm air. While folding shirts, I remember the price tag on James's new clothes. The white shirt he bought last week cost about 20 hours of my wages. Mom! Look at this. Turning to Amy's voice, I saw her holding a tablet that had been left in James's car. She must have gotten it from my husband's car while he was away on weekend work. He left early this morning saying he had to go to the site and hasn't returned since. Lately, Saturdays are like this too. What is it? It's Dad's car navigation history. He's been going to lots of places I don't know. My heart skipped a beat. The intuition that something had been wrong for the past few months suddenly made a loud noise in my mind. But I had to maintain composure in front of Amy. Taking a deep breath, I sat down next to my daughter. The moment I peered at the screen, unfamiliar addresses jumped out at me. And the times. My fingertips trembled slightly. Look at this address. He's going there at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. Does Dad work at these hours? Desperately suppressing my agitation, I answered, yes, it might be work-related. I hate lying, but I don't want to worry Amy right now. Just looking at her innocent eyes makes my chest tighten. I try to check the history on the tablet as naturally as possible. The past 3 months' records show more than 15 late-night movements. All between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. on weekdays. During hours when I should be sleeping. And the destinations, in a low-income area of the suburbs. Definitely not somewhere a construction site supervisor would go for work. I noticed Amy heading to the kitchen with a plate smeared with blueberry jam. Amy, it's snack time. Could you go to the kitchen and get the pudding from the fridge? It's the special pudding Dad bought today. After sending my daughter to the kitchen, I quickly took photos of the addresses with my smartphone. My hands were shaking slightly. The numbers on the screen seemed to dance before my eyes. All the vague uneasiness I'd been feeling suddenly took shape. My husband's recent changes. New brand-name clothes, unfamiliar expensive watches. Last month, he bought an expensive watch, saying it was for greeting business partners. Then the perfume he started using 2 months ago. He'd never used anything like that before. He never lets his phone out of his sight and seems careful not to show me the screen. When message notifications sound, he immediately checks and deletes them. When he comes home, he immediately takes a shower. Some days, I find unfamiliar perfume scents on the laundry. I can hear Amy's cheerful singing from the kitchen. The usual, "Twinkle, twinkle, little star." Her innocent voice makes my chest tighten. She still doesn't know anything. I want her to stay innocent. With trembling hands, I open the household account book and review the finances again. Indeed, my husband's income has increased. But the overtime pay amounts don't match the actual deposits. Unexplained cash withdrawals have also become more frequent. Last month, he withdrew $3,000 in cash on payday. When I asked, he just vaguely said it was necessary expenses. I sigh. But what worries me more is my sister Rachel. The weekly phone calls we used to have silently ceased. She's started avoiding family gatherings at our parents' house, and her social media posts have drastically decreased. The last time we met, she seemed to avoid looking me in the eye. After her divorce, we used to talk and encourage each other often. The living room clock shows 3 p.m. Amy has gone out to play with friends. The sunlight is still strong, but the shadows are gradually lengthening. I gathered my courage and entered my husband's study. I normally don't touch his personal belongings. But today is different. I need to clear up this unsettling feeling. Opening the drawer, I find unfamiliar bundles of receipts. Luxury restaurants, jewelry shops. Last Friday, dinner at 10 p.m. A course menu for two. I was at home eating frozen pizza with Amy. Then, a separate mobile phone bill. Numerous call records from unknown numbers. In the notebook, mysterious addresses are scribbled. The same places as in the car navigation history. From the back of the drawer, a small box emerged. Inside, a small pendant. With last month's receipt attached. Not my birthday or our wedding anniversary. Who is this for? Night. After putting Amy to bed, I sat in my bedroom in the dark, quietly crying. Insects chirp outside. The air conditioner-less house is humid, and my nightgown sticks to my skin. In just a few hours since the sudden discovery, my world has completely changed. But I can't let this be the end. Thinking of Amy's future, I need to uncover the truth. The college savings might be dwindling due to my husband's wasteful spending. How long can we continue this life? What was our 15-year marriage all about? The bedside alarm clock shows midnight. On my phone screen, Rachel's unread messages remain ignored. I've made my decision. I'll begin my own investigation to uncover the truth. To protect Amy's smile, and to protect my own life. Opening the dresser drawer, I take out my savings passbook. An account I've kept secret from my husband, containing my part-time wages. I might need money for the investigation. The business card from that detective agency from when we replaced our wedding rings 10 years ago should still be here somewhere. Tomorrow. Sunday's family time might be the last. But before that, I need solid evidence. I pick up the tablet again to check the history. The suburban apartment. There, my husband's unknown side exists. And perhaps, Rachel 2. Monday morning, I left home early. I told Amy, Mom has an early morning meeting at work. In truth, I was heading to the detective agency I had used 10 years ago when we got new wedding rings. In my hand, 3 months' worth of cram school fees. I'm sorry, Amy, but right now, knowing the truth is more important. The detective agency was on the 5th floor of an office building slightly removed from the busy downtown area. When I opened the door, the middle-aged female receptionist greeted me kindly, just like 10 years ago. While waiting in the reception room, the detective I remembered appeared. Though he had more gray hair now, his sharp gaze hadn't changed. Mrs. Wilson, it's been a while. At those words, I felt tears welling up. This time, it's about my husband. With trembling hands, I showed him the photos of the tablet history. The late-night movement records, suspicious receipts. And the unnatural relationship with my sister Rachel. As I spoke, my voice seemed to echo from far away. I'd like to request basic surveillance and evidence collection. This is. When I held out an envelope containing cash, the detective quietly shook his head. We can do installment payments. Let's start with $3,000. We can discuss the rest after seeing the results. I felt slightly relieved at those words. I listened to the specific investigation plan. GPS installation, behavior monitoring through surveillance, security camera footage collection. Modern investigation techniques have apparently evolved significantly compared to 10 years ago. We should be able to grasp the general situation in about a week. I nodded slightly at the detective's words. For the next week, while pretending to maintain my usual life, I was internally restless. James, my husband, continues his late-night, overtime work as usual. He keeps his phone close at all times, and his shower sounds are suspiciously long. Still no contact from Rachel. Then came Monday. The meeting place was a cafe near the station. At a window seat, I nervously examined the evidence. The first photo. James entering a luxury restaurant. The next photo. Him leaving arm in arm with Rachel. My hands shake. They were meeting regularly at this apartment. The detective handed me photos showing the scene at the suburban apartment. Rachel opening the door with a spare key. James sneaking in at night. The two of them entering with shopping bags. We found evidence of their lifestyle too. Photos of them in casual wear. Cooking in the kitchen. Cuddling on the balcony. All taken during hours I didn't know about. That afternoon, I left the insurance agency early and thoroughly checked bank statements at home. Every suspicious withdrawal has a corresponding photo. Shopping at luxury brands, restaurant meals, what appears to be apartment rent. Nervously, I called my husband's company. I asked anonymously to a woman who identified herself as being from the personnel department. I'd like to confirm the night shift schedule for an employee named Wilson. I'm sorry, but our company doesn't conduct any nighttime site work at all. After hanging up, exhaustion overwhelmed me. Outside, an autumn-tinged wind was blowing. The next investigation revealed even more shocking facts. Waiting for me at the detective agency was security camera footage capturing James leaving the company's vault room. At night, when no one should be there. This is evidence of embezzlement. The detective's voice resonates heavily. It seems he was embezzling part of the construction costs by falsifying monthly accounting reports. A mountain of documents spread across the desk. Fraudulently manipulated accounting records, forged receipts. And the amount. An unbelievable figure. The total is approximately $300,000. Even in just the past 6 months, about $100,000 has been misappropriated. I felt dizzy. On the desk were photos of Rachel carrying luxury brand bags. James stepping out of a new Mercedes. The two of them viewing luxury homes together. The apartment was just a meeting place. I could only nod at the detective's words. "Ma'am, there's one more important piece of information." The documents handed to me included a contract for a new condominium. In James and Rachel's names, with the down payment already paid. Move-in date next month. It seems they were planning to start a new life together. That wasn't all. The detective added one final detail. "We've discovered something else. Rachel, in her previous divorce as well." I gasped. My sister's divorce. Indeed, back then too, she suddenly announced the split with just the vague reason of differences in values. Even our parents don't know the detailed circumstances. Could it be, just like this time? Just thinking about it makes my chest tighten. There were similar financial troubles at her ex-husband's company. However, it was resolved through a settlement, so it never came to light. It appears she was involved in embezzlement using the same method this time as well. On my way home, autumn twilight enveloped the town. The trees along the railroad tracks were beginning to show signs of autumn. Usually at this time of year, we'd be planning a family trip to view the fall colors. But this year, everything has changed. On my smartphone screen, Amy's photo appears. Taken at the recent sports day. The image of her running hand in hand with her father, James. That smile might never be seen again. Looking at the photo, I found myself crying before I knew it. Arriving home, flyers had accumulated in the mailbox. Among them, Amy's cram school bill. For next month. Maybe I won't need to pay it anymore. Because from now on, I'll be living alone. No, it's too early to think about that. First, I need to face the facts in front of me. In the living room, Amy was working on her math workbook. Her dream is to become an architect. To protect that dream, I must be strong. Tomorrow, when I confront my husband and sister, thinking of this child's future will surely give me courage. Standing in the kitchen, I was planning tomorrow's arrangements. The evidence photos, company records, bank statements. All prepared in an envelope. The confrontation will be in this house's living room. I've arranged for Amy to stay at a friend's house. While preparing dinner, my sister Rachel's words come back to me. "You're too perfect," she used to say often. I'm not perfect. I just wanted to protect my family. But to be betrayed by that very family. While chopping onions, I quietly shed tears. After Amy fell asleep, I check all the evidence again. With each photo, I could hear the sound of my trust in my husband crumbling. 15 years of marriage. Before I knew it, it had become so fragile. By my pillow, the alarm clock shows midnight again. Tomorrow draws closer with each passing moment. Outside, the curtains sway in the night breeze. Their shadows cast lonely patterns on the wall, like omens of the new life about to begin. Sunday evening, I felt my hands trembling as I put tea leaves in the teapot. Amy had gone to stay at her friend's house 3 hours ago. Her words, "See you tomorrow, Mom," still echo in my ears. The living room clock points to 7 p.m. 1 hour until the appointed time. I check the envelope containing the evidence one more time. Photos, bank statements, company records. All arranged in order. I need to talk tonight. I've called Rachel too, I told my husband on the phone. There was a moment of silence, but he quickly replied, "Understood." To my sister, I sent a message, "Come to our house at 8 p.m. There's something important to discuss." The fan quietly oscillates. The air conditioner is still unrepaired. I thought I was saving on repair costs. Just remembering makes me feel bitter. The doorbell rang at 7:45 p.m. Rachel arrived first. "Sis, what's wrong?" There was a slight tremor in her voice. I silently led her to the living room. 5 minutes later, James came home too. "Melissa, what's this about?" His voice was normal, but his expression when he saw Rachel. It told everything. "Sit down." I urged them both to sit and reached for the envelope on the table. "What's this?" My husband's voice rose slightly. "The first photo. The two of them arm in arm at the luxury restaurant." Silently, I bring out the next photo. Rachel opening the door to the apartment. James sneaking in at night. The new condominium contract. "This is..." James's words trail off. Rachel covered her face with both hands. "Explain." My voice was surprisingly calm. A long silence. Only the fan sound echoes in the room. I was embezzling company money. After meeting Rachel. My husband's voice gradually grows smaller. When I'm with her, everything seems to shine. While we were cutting back on our living expenses. While we were reducing Amy's cram school fees. Finally, my voice begins to shake. "Sis, I'm sorry. But James and I..." "Be quiet," I shouted involuntarily. "While reducing savings for Amy's future, you two were living in luxury." "Melissa, calm down." James reached out his hand. I violently brushed it away. "Don't touch me." Tears overflow. 15 years. For 15 years, I've been. For this family. For Amy. And yet, you. I have no excuses. James remained looking down. "I don't want to hear excuses. Embezzling company money, secret meetings with my sister. What kind of person are you?" Rachel started crying. "Sis, I'm truly sorry. You too. Your divorce 2 years ago was the same thing, wasn't it? There was money involved with your previous husband's company too." My sister's face turned pale. "How did you?" "The detective found everything. Using Amy's cram school fees." At those words, both of them gasped. "Mom was worried about you. Whether you'd recover after the divorce. But you were just hunting for your next prey. My husband. Outside, it had grown completely dark. The fan's breeze rustles the evidence photos. I'm calling the company tomorrow. I'll tell them everything. No settlement this time. Wait, Melissa. Somehow. Somehow what? After destroying Amy's dreams, what more do you want? My voice starts shaking again. I'll pay it back. The full amount. Rachel speaks up. How? With your salary? Or by deceiving someone else? The clock hands pointed to 11 p.m. This painful confrontation had been going on for 4 hours already. Get out. I stood up. Both of you, get out right now. And don't call me sister anymore. You're not my sister. After they left, only the mountain of evidence remained in the living room. Outside, insects were chirping. The clock was about to strike midnight. Near dawn, I called my parents. Mom. I need to talk. Through the receiver, I hear my mother's sleepy voice. But I can't wait any longer. I have to tell the truth. Can Amy and I stay at your place for a while? After hanging up, the eastern sky was gradually brightening. A new morning is coming. But nothing will ever be the same. While putting away the documents, I strengthened my resolve. Filing the report today. Contacting the lawyer. And the company disclosure. It might be a long battle. But for Amy's future, I can't run away. Since that dawn, our lives began moving in a big way. After calling my parents, I immediately contacted a lawyer, and that same day filed the report with the company. Amy and I moved in with my parents, and days of divorce mediation and trials began. Initially, the company wanted to resolve things internally, but I refused. Just hearing the word settlement made me nauseous, remembering Rachel's previous incident. This time, everything would come to light. I believed that was the way to take responsibility for everyone who had been betrayed. The first 2 months were truly difficult. At night, I could barely hold back my own tears while holding Amy as she cried. But with my parents' support, I gradually began to look forward. Mother cooked our favorite dishes every day, and Father silently supported my decisions. Melissa, why don't you continue with the insurance work? One day, Mother suggested this. Indeed, even though it was part-time, 3 years of experience wasn't wasted. Unexpectedly, I received an offer from a major insurance company where I had sent my resume. And now, 6 months later, spring sunlight streams through the window, brightening the living room of our new apartment. I found this place on the opposite side of town. It's close to Amy's school, with affordable rent. Most importantly, it's a place where we could start a new life without anyone knowing us. Mom, breakfast was super delicious today. Before heading to school, Amy hugged me saying this. The recipes I learned from Mother during our stay at their house are now proving useful in this way. My life has changed significantly too. The full-time job at the insurance company pays better than before, and more importantly, has good benefits. I don't have to worry about Amy's education expenses anymore. Sometimes I see James's case in the newspapers. Reported as a $300,000 embezzlement case, he was immediately fired from the company. Last week, His prison sentence was confirmed. I hear he can barely manage the compensation payments and is accumulating debts from relatives. Abandoned by former colleagues, he's completely lost his credibility in the community. Rachel went even further away. She's cut ties with our parents too, and the last I heard, she moved to the West Coast. Of course, she quit the supermarket. Her social media accounts were flooded with criticism until she deleted everything, or so I hear. But that's no longer my concern. Now I just want to focus on our future. Good morning, ma'am. The elderly couple from downstairs greet me as they return from their morning walk. The people in this area have warmly accepted us as a single-mother family. The other day, they even brought a homemade cake for Amy's birthday. In the evening, when I return from work, Amy is waiting for me, having finished her homework. Her grades have improved recently, especially in math where she's among the top in her grade. Her dream of becoming an architect has become more concrete than before. Mom, look. The house design I drew in art class today. The hand-drawn plans include detailed dimensions. Next to it was written in large letters, for my mom. Stepping out onto the balcony in the twilight, the spring breeze gently caresses my cheeks. The new buds on the street trees glisten in the sunlight. Amy, it's okay now. We still have a wonderful future ahead of us. I whispered while stroking my daughter's hair. Yes, Mom. I'm going to become an architect and build you a wonderful house. I promise. The determination in her eyes had completely erased the shadows of past anxiety and sadness. In the small flower pot on the balcony railing, the marigold seedling that Amy grew and brought back from school reaches straight up toward the sky. Our new life, too, will surely bloom powerfully and beautifully like this marigold. The painful days now seem like a distant past. From now on, we'll only look forward. Along with Amy's dreams, my life too is about to begin anew.